All right, welcome back to WMMA Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a RIZIN fight review. We're going to Saitama, Japan for Super RIZIN number 4. We're going to a 52 kilogram catch weight fight. Seika Izawa coming in undefeated at 15-0, taking on Yu Jin Shin, came in at 3-0 with 1 no contest. Now, this was originally scheduled to be a Super Atomweight title bout. Shin called RIZIN ahead of time, said, I'm not going to be able to make the Super Atomweight limit. They agreed to a 52 kilogram, which is strawweight, catchweight bout. However, before the fight, Shin got a red card because she still missed weight after the catchweight by little less than a kilo, so a little over a pound. She still missed weight. And we're going to get into that after this. So, very short fight here. Let's go ahead and get into it. First round, Izawa backed Shin into a corner, shot for a single leg, and took down the Korean into side control. Nice knee by Izawa, and then another to the head of Shin. Shin tried to lock up Izawa's head with her legs, couldn't get it. Some big hammer fists by Izawa. Izawa then moved to north-south looking for a choke. Another knee landed for Izawa. Shin entirely on the defensive in this fight. Izawa locked in an arm triangle from side control, switched sides to tighten it up, and Shin was forced to tap out. So your winner, Seika Izawa, via submission due to arm triangle choke, 2 minutes, 24 seconds into the first round. All right, so let's talk about this fight, because this fight angered me when they booked it, and the whole fallout from it has just angered me even more. This was a terrible mismatch on paper. Okay, you have your undefeated champion at 15-0. She's taking on a girl who has only had 4 professional, full-fledged MMA fights. Now, Shin had a couple of mixed, special rules bouts as well, but they don't count because they were special rules. So yes, Shin was undefeated, but she had literally 1/5 of Izawa's experience. Okay, so RIZIN, the promotion, RIZIN, should be ashamed of this matchmaking. This was blatant mismatch. Absolutely blatant. And they should be ashamed for putting 0 effort into actually finding an opponent for Izawa. But Izawa deserves blame for this too. Because why did she agree to such a blatant mismatch? Everything that happens in this, the blame is split 3 ways. It's split between RIZIN for the mismatch, Izawa for accepting a mismatch, but Shin gets blamed too as well for missing weight. And that's my next note. Shin missed weight again. She missed weight in her last bout. It resulted in the bout being a no contest because she won that. Had she won this fight against Izawa, it also would have been a no contest, which would have really put some egg on RIZIN and Izawa's face. I was actually hoping for that to happen. It would have been hilarious. So Shin missed weight for the second time in a row. Is something wrong with her? I have a theory. She made her debut back in 2019. She was 15 years old at the time because she is 21 now. She's always fought at strawweight. My theory is that she's a natural strawweight, meaning she really doesn't have to work very hard to lose the weight, or at least she didn't. But 5 years later, at 21 years old, well, her body's naturally going to put on some size between 15 and 21. So now she's not really sure how to cut weight. Her camp has only produced, I think, 2 professional fighters besides her, and one of them was a natural atomweight. So, yeah, probably not a whole lot of weight cutting going on in that camp. That probably doesn't help things either. But still, you do, if you agree to a fight, you gotta work harder to make that weight. But still, they should have never booked her for a super atomweight bout to begin with. That goes back to RIZIN. And RIZIN knew that she missed weight back in December. So, yeah. My next note here. Does RIZIN no longer care about super atomweight? I'm starting to think they don't, because Seika Izawa is not a very popular champion with them. And, Japanese promotions, if they have an unpopular champion, they tend to lose interest in that weight division. At least it seems that way with RIZIN and super atomweight, certainly. So, do they even care about super atomweight? I'm thinking they have less and less interest in it. And as an addendum to that, I have, are they even trying to find fighters for this division? I think the answer to that is no. Because if they said, oh yeah, we're going to give Izawa a foreign fighter, an international fighter for her next fight, why did you only go as far as South Korea, which is right across the Tsushima Strait? Like, you didn't actually put any effort into finding her an opponent. And then my final note here. Seika Izawa prefers easy fights. This is her, you could definitely say it's her third mismatch in the last 5 fights. You could possibly say it's her 4th mismatch in her last 5 fights. This is a mismatch. Lucia Abdelgarim and Izawa's last fight was a blatant mismatch. She fought, a few fights ago, she fought Miyu Yamamoto, who had an upside-down record, and that was her retirement bout. So that's a blatant mismatch. That's 3. You could even argue that the Kana Asakura match was a mismatch because Asakura hadn't been doing as good in recent fights, and that was Asakura's retirement fight. And when fighters already have one foot out the door, they tend not to fight as well. You rarely see a retiring fighter who announced their retirement ahead of time. You rarely see them win in MMA, especially in Japan, where they're supposed to be passing of the torch fights. So yeah, you could argue 3-4 out of Izawa's last 5 fights have been mismatches. Her last 2 fights have absolutely been mismatches. But she never complains about the easy mismatches. She never complains about the easy fights. In fact, they tried to book Reina, and now Izawa is saying, well, Reina backed out the last time we were supposed to fight, so I'm not even going to fight her. Yeah, because that's like the first active good opponent you'd be facing in a while. So it's fair to say, I used to be a fan of Seika Izawa. I am no longer a fan of her. And how good is she really if she's only taking these easy fights? There you have it. Izawa defeats Shin in the first round, the arm triangle choke, in a blatant mismatch. Fights on RIZIN.tv. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that thumbs up. Thanks for watching WMMA Now, the latest and best women's mixed martial arts combat sports channel on YouTube. Also, keep an eye out for an upcoming video I will have about why Izawa is such a terrible champion. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.